Good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning, Juliana Halvorson.
Good morning.
Good morning. We've had you on a bunch of times, between Walker Aviation, Main Street Roswell, and many of the organizations that you were involved with. But today, Juliana joins us as a candidate for City Council, representing Ward 2.
Yes.
So, well, first off, not that you don't have, I know enough to know that you got a pretty full plate with everything you're going on, being involved. So I guess question one is, all right, why did you decide to add more to your plate and decide, I'm going to just run for city council now, too?
Well, I've been involved with so many different organizations for over 30 years, and the relationship with the city's been wonderful. And I've just seen those relationships with so many different organizations, not just the ones I'm, personally on the board with. Just start to deteriorate, and I think that's hurting our community.
Gotcha.
Because, we need a better quality of life. We're losing police officers and fire people when they get trained, they leave because of the quality of life.
Yeah.
And it's just important that we have events and these organizations that do things for the community.
Sure.
So
really, you're just seeing that, because of that, it's like, I'm involved in so many organizations, and it seems like that relationship, with the city and these are kind of souring a bit. And you're right. Unfortunately, without that good relationship, it's really hard to make things happen. It's just,
that's right.
Because
we've always had a good partnership with the city, and so I just want to keep that going.
Sure.
I'm just saying Main Street Roswell, because that's the biggest thing I'm involved with. But, Walker Aviation Museum too now. But I did have to resign from Main Street Roswell's board to run for office. That freed up some time, but I'm still volunteering a lot. I don't want to just leave them, because they do so much for our small businesses in the community here.
Well, and it's even not so much just with organizations officially, like even just events that you're not technically associated with, that you just show up and support, taking pictures or promoting and any of that kind of stuff.
Any nonprofit that asks for help, know, and I'm blessed to work for an employer that sees the need for the community, programs. So everything's been great. I still can help everyone, not every nonprofit, that asks for help.
Absolutely. So I mean, it's one of those things that I always look. It's like you say you're off one board, but like she's got 37 things that's going on here. So let's talk a little bit about the city council. Obviously, you've got vast experience knowing how the city operates just through the various organizations you've gone through. What about the experiences like doing the minutia of, because there's a lot of crunching numbers and a lot of that stuff. Your day jobs with Pioneer Bank. Talk about experience there and kind of the budget side and all the knowledge side that you kind of have to have being a city councilor.
That I will have to learn more on. Just the ins and outs of being a city councilor. And I'm willing to learn, because people who know me know I'm not one to sit back. I do take action and try to learn new things all the time. So I'm up to, whatever the job entails, because I do my research. I don't just come in and say, well, and I do my research. I go to meetings. I look up things, so.
Absolutely. And so, that's kind of like anyone here. And I wanted to start, I usually start off, and I forgot to do this with you here, but city council municipal elections, this is a different animal. This is not like state, national. These aren't quote unquote professional politicians that are running for these offices. These are the people that you go to church with, the people you go to the store with, you see at the store, all that stuff. So first of all, thank you for doing that, because win, lose, or draw, the people that are running for these offices, your opponents included, they care about the city. And I respect that.
And that's what I let people know. I've had 35 years of volunteering. God, my husband and I grew up in Scouts. He was a Scout, so we just continued. Since we got married, we've been volunteering all over the community. I have a passion to make Roswell better. And I'm hoping this is just another step I can take to fulfill that,
Absolutely. So let's talk like issues and things. Like right now, what's some of the biggest issues you think that the city has that we need to work on as a priority?
Like I've talked to several small businesses. It took 2 months for one just to get an inspection. One of them that opened, it took like $100,000 more than they have other locations in other communities to open here, and it took longer, and it was such a hassle. So we're hurting our small businesses. We're hurting our small businesses at the Civic Center when people want to cater you have an event there, and they do a good job. The people that are there now, the chef and everything, it's good food.
Sure.
But if Peppers or Martine's or someone wants to cater it, they can, but it's a real big hassle. They're not allowed to use the kitchen. They have,
Gotcha.
So
Create some flexibility there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's just a lot, and then like I said, the police officers and the firemen, we pay for them to get certified, and then they're leaving because of better pay and quality of life.
Gotcha.
So my big thing is the quality of life. We need the organizations. We need to work together, and that's important.
Sure.
To have programs and events. And I don't want the city to pay for events, but I think our tax dollars go to these services like road closures when the state fair happens and stuff, but they charge these organizations. So organizations like the Walk for Hope, it can't happen anymore. And that was a huge event, and they do so much for our community.
Yeah.
I had a gentleman come up to me. He does the Walk for Alzheimer's, and he said the same thing. The money that would go back into the community that they raise, they're actually having to pay for services that our tax dollars paid for.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, and so I mean, when like you said, that there's something there. So So do you think it's a matter of just logistics here and getting? Is it policies that you think are kind of preventing these from happening?
Yeah.
Money? I mean, is that the big issue?
Yeah, I think it's more policies.
Okay.
I think we just need to sit down and work together. Come up with some kind of, budget or something to help because again, our tax dollars already pay for the services that they need. So, this isn't popular either, but, they're going to start selling cannabis, which I don't agree with, but it's going to happen, and you
Sure.
can't stop it. But, we're supposed to be getting a windfall of money for that. So, they could use that maybe for infrastructure and
Sure.
working to help, put on events. Because, the biggest complaint you hear in Roswell is there's nothing to do. Well, if you're not working with these organizations that actually host these events, again, and you do need to stress, I don't want the city to pay for the events.
Sure.
But I think we need to have these events with these organizations,
Sure.
just throughout Roswell all over.
Sure.
And the city should just be supporting those.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you're right when we talk about and this is kind of an argument we've had, and I mean obviously you're hearing in the because in this municipal election we're seeing a lot of stuff coming out at the various races here, but a lot of stuff talking about the Aquatics and Recreation Center. You're hearing stuff about baseball fields and all this.
It's getting nasty, and I hate that part of the politics.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like the Aquatics and Recreation Center, I mean, do you think city's pretty spot on with some of that, or do you think there's it was good and bad at the same time? I mean, what's your thoughts on some of this?
I think it was good and bad. I was excited when they first opened. I went there, and I used to swim at NIMI all the time. So after I go swimming at NIMI, I take a shower, wash all the chlorine off. Well, there was no showers, no changing rooms, nothing at the new aquatic center. There was one shower. I take that back, but it's in the hallway to go to the pool, and it's not private. So there's some things that I probably wouldn't have agreed to, but then again, I wasn't involved with that. And I think they did try to do a good job.
Sure.
So it's interesting, that whole thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kind of like I'm guessing is you wish they would have maybe logistically did a little bit more planning there on some of the amenities.
I think Carlsbad's, you could see what other communities did.
Gotcha.
And that's what I think if I make city council is I'm going to rely on other communities. I'm going to talk to them, see what worked, for them, even with the small businesses.
Sure.
We need to support us. That's what we do with Main Street Roswell is to build a vibrant downtown. But as city councilor, it's going to be the entire city, you got to worry about. So.
Sure, absolutely.
And we need jobs, you got to have jobs and you have better quality of life. You have more jobs and more happy people, and then you have more events and more businesses come to town. So.
Well, let me ask, we kind of talk about negative here. Let's go to the other side. What's something that you're like, city really got this right. I want to make sure we throw more time and investment into these programs and things. Is there some things that you really like that they're doing? Yeah,
one thing they started recently was the downtown cleanup program. So they have a crew that actually goes downtown and clean up. Jim Burris with the parks, he's always, doing a wonderful job. And that's where the partnership with the city is so important. When we have the flower pots downtown, and we do have Community Planting Day coming up in April too, so people can put that in there. I don't have the date yet, but keep an eye out on the Main Street page.
Keep a bee in your bonnet on that.
But the city will move the pots if we need them moved. If we see graffiti or anything, we can tell the city, that they have the fix-it form.
Gotcha.
Which is good. And, you
so streamlining some of the reporting things and stuff has been a good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's a good thing. And then, they did do well. Their YouTube channel, they put information.
Sure.
Johnny Hector, and he does a great job.
Yes, absolutely. So really, that side of communication, they're doing really good on and doing some of that.
Yes.
Cool. And so embracing some of that technology and allowing basically the community to at least understand what's going on where and with what. They're doing a good job with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Good deal. Very good. Do some more of that too.
Yeah.
Obviously, because your involvement in the community, your family, your husband, longtime police officer, judge,
yes,
scouting. You've spent a long time in this community. Know many people in this community. Talk about that side of your campaign, because obviously that's really we have the largest city council in the state.
Yes,
arguably bringing that with it, probably the most diverse board in the state, because we have such a large board.
Diversity's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of personalities there, and a lot of 10 different opinions there. Talk about that side, working with people that you sometimes you're probably not going to agree with and things. Talk about experience there and some of that side of being a city councilor.
Well, and people that have worked with me for years, they know, if I don't agree with you, I can have a civil conversation and we can try to work things out. And, you both give concessions to come to a final agreement.
Sure.
The neatest thing is knocking on doors. We've knocked most of my ward, almost all of it now. And I see people I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
I see people from church. Oh, yeah, we remember you. And it's so much fun just catching up with these people, and getting back in touch and, just hearing what their concerns are.
Sure.
And stuff. So I'm grateful for the time I've had in this community. And
Gotcha.
I just think it's great.
Good deal.
So.
Let me ask this, a Ward 2 perspective here. Do you think there's some issues that are kind of unique to Ward 2 right now that are, obviously we're a small city and a lot of things there, but when you're knocking and visiting with folks here, are there certain issues that you're seeing that's kind of universal or just something that's common between the people you're talking to?
Just the biggest complaint, it's really funny, it's strange, is, crime, obviously. Mm-hmm. But there's so many streets, I guess, people use as like racetracks. Gotcha. And even yesterday, I goes, I don't know how many times I've almost been hit just trying to pull in, So that's interesting, though. Yeah, and then the crime, Yeah. So there's things, I don't know, you've seen the Nextdoor app or Facebook. People go on there and put they share.
Yeah.
And it's great. So if they have video of someone on their ring cam, this guy tried to break into my car, then they share that information. And that goes all over Roswell, the Nextdoor app. But I think, the crime problem is a problem.
Yeah.
But there is no Facebook page for Neighborhood Watch. And the lady that runs Neighborhood Watch, she does a great job. Like with the Main Street Roswell Stakeholders page, if someone passes funny money or someone, is shoplifting, they share that information. We need a citywide
Gotcha. Something more like official, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so people know, like if there's a rash of crime in a certain block, the police can say, hey, here's what to look for, here's how to report it.
Yeah.
And people can, then get the information. Because a lot of people they'll call 911 for something minor, and I don't think the police officers need, we're shorthanded already.
Sure.
The community wants to help each other, and I think that's a great way for them to do so.
Give it allow them to help in a constructive way versus...
basically a neighborhood watch online.
Sure.
With technology now, you can do pretty much anything of that.
And especially with even more technology, a lot of people having the Ring doorbells and those kind of things. And I've seen more and more of people saying, do you know this person? And they see someone kind of looking kind of shady, wander around properties and things like that. Yeah, so basically... maybe use a official city organized version of that where someone's constantly monitoring it and doing it, like you said, maybe through Neighborhood Watch or something like that. Okay. Yeah. All right.
That way people stay off the police page and,
Sure. And then also, I think that will also give, because let's just face it, the internet is great and horrible all at the same time.
It's the downfall of our society.
And if you do it through something like you said, Neighborhood Watch or something, at least people can go there trusting that, okay, this isn't just hearsay. This is credible information we're getting put up here, or just it's not rumors or people with agendas or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
you still get the few, I'm sure, that just take it over and try to give false information. Some people just like to scare other people. But,
sure.
So.
So let's talk big terms here. Like if I always say that if you're a mayor for the day or that kind of thing, but like, as your next, say, 4 years here as city council, like 4 years from now, where do you hope to see, in Roswell? Like, what would be your perfect scenario of things that have been changed 4 years later here in Roswell?
Well, I'd like to see, all the downtown merchants full. I want to see more people just walking downtown. There's a lot of people who live here never even walk downtown.
Sure.
Just businesses in general. I want to see business growth, job growth. And then, there's already new housing going up. I know Kevin Meaver's been posting a lot of that.
Yeah, he was just on yesterday talking about some of the growth around town. Yeah.
And that helps too. But the more we grow, because Roswell's been stagnant so long, I just want to see more growth.
Sure.
But positive growth. The Ascent Aviation, that come in, and that's just amazing.
Sure.
That's going to be great. And there's a meeting tonight, I guess, because I don't know why this vote has to be made so quickly, but that seems a little strange to me. But
yeah.
At the tenant meeting, they said they're going to hold off till the new city council comes in, but this one just had to be rushed, and it's just.
You thinking there's some...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Again, I don't know enough about it. All I know is what I read in the paper.
You have questions.
Yeah, I have questions. What I saw was what I read in the paper.
Gotcha.
So, and I'm sure a lot of people out there have the same question. And it's a problem. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I don't know because I don't know enough about that.
Sure.
But, there's meetings today that I think we'll hope to learn more answers to those questions.
Cool. And if not, when I see the mayor next, I'll be sure to ask him here on the radio. And
but for Roswell, we need growth all around. And I think, there's potential there.
Sure. What's like I know I've heard a lot of people talk roads. People say roads in here. What's been kind of your experience with people talking about? I know you mentioned that people, abusing the roads.
Yeah.
But as far as were there a lot of people in the ward too, kind of saying, you know what?
Yeah.
A lot of potholes, a lot of work needs to be done.
Yeah, just knocking on doors.
Yeah.
Even in Ward 2, everyone says all the roads are bad down south. Well, they're pretty bad up north too.
Sure.
All over Roswell. And like the biggest complaint is, why is Atkinson still closed? You know, but I found out it's because of the water pipes.
Sure, if one thing begats another thing, and infrastructure.
Yeah, and then getting parts is hard, and it just everything just takes longer.
And there's nothing you do about that. That's not political. That's not, it's just the way of the world. Sometimes it's no different in your home when you do a home project and you think, oh, that'll be easy, and then you peel back a layer of that onion, and there's 12 more issues that pop up. That's just life.
And that's where we need to figure out where we can get money to. Because that's the problem. When you fix the road, then you find out the water pipes are bad, and you've got to have a budget for that kind of stuff. And we've got to figure out where that's going to come from,
Absolutely. So, as far as getting involved with your campaign, things like that, I know we're less than a week away here.
Yeah.
Thank God for some, and I'm sure all yourself and every other candidate.
I'm just so grateful. It's only like two months of campaigning, not 2 years like for Congress.
It's like, what do you look forward most to? Wednesday of next week.
Oh yeah, that's it. Taking the day off, but that's when I'm going to be picking up signs everywhere.
But as far as getting involved with the campaign, is there still volunteer needs and things like that? Are you still out knocking doors and dropping off signs and doing all that stuff?
Yesterday I was knocking on doors. I'm out of signs. So, we printed like 350.
All right.
And I didn't want to print more, but,
I get you.
Yeah. It's a good thing, I guess, so.
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious about that, that side of things, too, because that's a unique scenario, too. You look at the other elections.
Yeah.
And we're just you and I talking now. But, you look at anything that's, a commissioner on up, a partisan race.
Yeah.
Then you start getting into war chests and things like that, where parties are backing people and want more money. At this level, none of that's really is going on. It's municipal election. There's no party affiliation. So really...
It's nonpartisan.
Yeah, so really the money either comes out of your own pocket or if you have a campaign that raises money for some of that.
And I've been getting a lot of donations. I'm very grateful, but when people give me donations, I don't ask them, who else have you given money to?
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't do things like that,
And I was just curious, how is that side of running the campaign and being
Bonnie
the money
Brandt's my treasurer. She's done an amazing job just going out and getting money for me. I've had so much support from so many different people in the community that have been, sending emails and reaching out. So I've been blessed.
I was just curious because I'm like, because I always think about that. I was like, do they, does some, and I'm sure it's each person's different because it's grassroots. There's probably one person saying, no, I don't have any of those people. I'm doing it myself. Or, and then maybe the mayor race, clearly.
Yeah.
There's some money being invested in marketing on
I don't have that
multiple
kind of budget.
sides there.
Yeah.
But I was just curious, I was like,
Yeah, I've been blessed. I've been really lucky.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
And it's a small community, so you get a lot of people that give you $100 because then it's not reportable, so then their name doesn't come out. So
Sure.
I get a lot of people. We have mutual friends and everything. They don't want to offend someone, and
Sure. Yeah. Well.
and I honor all that.
Again, it's a small town.
Yeah.
It's municipal election. Next Wednesday, you're going to go to your Wednesday church services and see the same people that you're seeing. So you're right.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm saying. We can do all this and be civil.
Yes.
We talk because I truly believe we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe not how to get there, but we all want to be happy. We all want to live in a good community.
Yeah.
We all want to prosper. We all want to have opportunities for a great future for our children and our next generation of family members. We all want that. We just don't agree on how to make that happen per se.
And I've been staying off all the negativity on Facebook and everything. And win or lose, I'll still be out there, volunteering and doing what I did before.
That's why I was like, does anything change, win or lose for you after this? Like, Wednesday morning, whether you're city council or not, you're probably going to get up and go to your meetings and go to your
still help the
events and things like that. And
yeah.
So I got to ask you, what do you love most about that? Because you're involved in everything. What is it? Is it an enjoyment? Is it is it just a panging like I need to do this? I mean, what is it that drives you?
Yeah, it was the way I was raised, and then I married John, and he thought the same thing. And we raised our girls the same way. When you live in a community, it's important that you support your community.
Sure.
You mean when the girls were little and, it snowed, we'd go down and shovel all the widows', snow, driveways.
Sure.
Because that's what you do for neighbors.
It's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, at Christmas we give their neighbors, goodies and stuff. And some people are like, I didn't ever hear of that. But that's the way we were raised. We'd bake cookies and give them, to the neighbors and stuff. But John and I had the same vision. You just help the community, help it grow.
Yeah.
And the feeling you get from helping other people, and, maybe it's purely selfish reasons, but I feel really good when I...
Gotcha.
And we have the volunteer program at the bank. And what's interesting about that is a lot of those people have never volunteered, and now they started helping. One of the ladies brought her little cousin the other day when we did the downtown cleanup. We took down, the alien hat lights and everything because it's time to take those down.
But unfortunately, I'd like to keep them up though. It's kind of neat at night when they have.
Yeah, yesterday she told me, she goes, I was almost in tears because he said that's the best day he ever had in his life. And it's things like that. It's just I think we always ask for volunteers. I think if people come out and they realize how important it is to help your community. Because it's really neat when you do like the planting day, then the people that come out and, a lot of people in the community come out and help. They bring their kids, and their kids help plant. The Girl Scouts come, the Boy Scouts always help too.
And you're planting, pardon the pun, but you're planting those seeds for that.
Then they drive down the street and they say, oh, I did that. Then they feel this sense of accomplishment.
And ownership in it.
Yeah, and ownership in their city. And it's important, I think, that people feel that. And,
absolutely. I completely understand and agree with that. Yeah. And that's why I always say get involved in stuff. I've always, my mantra's always been on this show. I don't, we have, I'm just going to say roughly 50,000 people that live here. I'm going to say we'll just go with the weird numbers here. Half of them are adults. We'll say that.
Yeah.
25,000 are adults.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. Pick one, every one of these adults pick one thing they're passionate about. I don't care if it's pets, youth sports, domestic violence, whatever your passion is, homeless, whatever that is, find it and get involved that way. And if everybody, even if it's small things like making a $50 donation every month to whatever these organizations.
Do what you can.
Yeah. Whatever it is, every little bit helps. And if everybody did that, I would imagine we would see a lot less need in this community.
I agree. And supporting the small businesses. Mm-hmm. I think it's so neat. You have, all these new small businesses, drinks and chill, and you have the freshly squeezed and then that new hot bev.
Yeah.
But, you need to support all these small businesses because, they're going to make Roswell better.
Absolutely. And to be honest, and this is, we talk this through Main Street all the time, a better shopping experience 9 times out of 10 for most people because the mom and pop business owners are experts in the product in which they are selling or offering.
Yeah.
They might not be able to do your taxes or do something, but they know the product in which they are, selling and everything. So if you're coming in looking for said product, they're going to know a lot more than when you ordered online or went to the big box store. Personalized service, customized gear. I mean, there's so many advantages to visiting the local mom and pop store. outside of more of your dollars stay here in town, too.
Yeah, because you had a formula at one point.
Yeah.
Just how much of the local
70 cents
dollar.
here
Yeah.
and 30 cents here. Yeah, I don't remember the numbers, but it's pretty significant.
Yeah. So it's just, and there's so many unique shops and unique items, and people in Roswell don't always visit the downtown shops, and I recommend they do. And there's new shops opening up, like Marty. There's one that empty building that had the murals.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a new furniture shop in there too. I mean, there's all these new shops downtown.
Sure.
And they all have unique items, and it's just.
Make sure you visit the next First Friday. That's a good time to see.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and nonprofits can come out and put up their booths too, and they can let people know what they're doing.
That's next Friday, isn't it?
Already.
Yeah. And next Friday's next First Friday. Yeah. So make plans to attend. We'll get Molly in and we'll talk all about it here. But yeah, absolutely. We're about out of time, but I want to give you an opportunity to anything we missed, any area we didn't cover that you wanted to make sure.
So. I just want to encourage people to go to the finance meeting today at 3 if you can, or it'll be online because they do them live.
RoswellNM.gov is the website. You can go. There's a go-to meeting link to
or
watch
just go to YouTube and do a search for
it. Yeah, they got the YouTube channel
because sometimes it's hard to find the links on the city's website.
Yeah, especially if it's not the city. If it's the main city council one, that's usually right there. But
but they're having a special meetings
at
5 o'clock, I guess, after the finance meeting. And so I think learn more about what's going on because Ascent Aviation coming is a really good thing.
Absolutely.
Just the jobs they're going to bring, the salaries they're going to bring, but I
think that airport really is our linchpin. I think we finally, years now, have finally said, you know what? We got something here. We should do something about it. And we're finally, and it's not just the city. We got multiple entities that are kind of on board to let's make something out of this airport. And I think this Ascent is one of those pieces in the cog, a big puzzle to make that a goal happen here.
Yeah, so. And the point with that is, the tenant meeting where they gave eviction notices to so many different, there's already businesses out there like Dean Baldwin and Aircel that already, hire so many people and they provide so many jobs, but they were given eviction notices and the vote on that won't be, the financing, the raising the rates won't be until the next city council's in there. They decided to extend that. And I don't understand why this vote today is not doing that too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
If anybody wants more information or wants to reach out and have questions, what's the best way to do that?
Halvorson4Roswell.com.
Okay.
They can see my bio, learn more about where I stand on the issues, because I'm open book, transparency. And then they can contact me there. I also have a Facebook page, so
good deal.
Yeah.
And of course, if you see her out and about town, she's all over the place. If she's not busy at the moment.
It was funny the other day. A lady called and I answered the phone. She goes, "Why are you answering your own phone?" I'm like, "Because it's important to me. I don't know what to talk."
I got no one else to answer.
I'm like, this is a city council race. I don't have my campaign managers and stuff. It's just interesting. I thought was like, but it is important to me to talk to people.
Yeah.
That's why I've been knocking on doors too. It's
absolutely,
and I've been enjoying it. I just thoroughly enjoying talking,
visiting,
to these
and things. How, are people receptive now? In the day and age we live in, is there a lot of people like crack the door, like go away, or is it?
Most of them crack the door because they all have dogs.
They don't want to keep the dogs from getting out. Yeah, I know that.
But probably 95% of the people are so positive.
Good.
It's just wonderful, and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe you're knocking doors." I'm like, "Well, it's important."
That's what I do.
I like talking to people. So.
Awesome. Well. Win, lose, or draw, thank you for stepping up. Thank you for throwing your hat in the ring here and throwing yourself out there. And obviously, thank you for everything you do for the community, and we'll continue to do so here for as long as you're able. And I'm sure we'll talk to you 100 times, either as a city councilor or various other 37 hats you wear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juliana. We'll see you next time, okay?
Bye.